YouTube, it's Wolf in here. You guys are having a great day. But today we are out in the real world. I know it's very shocking, it's very scary, but this is a horror channel, so of course we're doing the scary. We are at the Evans City Cemetery. 1891 was when it was created, but this is where the wonderful film by George Romero in 1969, I believe, of Night of the Living Dead was shot here. But this little thing over here is not the original. The original graveyard marker is gone. I believe this was put up in, like, I think 1985. The original one's gone. Our stop sign, or the sign that you see when you first come in, that's, I think, saying Windy Road, that's all shot up, that's gone also. I would have got a shot of that. But let's go explore. We're going to try to find some of the landmarks of where, you know, where they put the flower at, which is next to a huge gravestone called, I think has Blair on it. We're going to see if we can find where Johnny hit his head, and the little building, and then also the house that she runs to is no longer here. Well, it's no longer there. That actually they destroyed after filming Night of the Living Dead. They rebuilt one, but it's on, I think, Ash Street or Ash Road. But the fireplace chimney is actually faced the same direction that the old one was. So we might go see if we can go find that later after we get done with the cemetery. It looks like it's very cloudy, appropriate for today. But I hope you guys have a great time on this little journey through the Evans City Cemetery. But thank you all very much, and let's go see if we can go find some landmarks. So yeah, this is it. This is a spot. If you're watching the film, you won't see the B on this one. You'll see the L-A-I-R, and she kneels on this one, as far as the gravestones go. But yeah, this is where that first shot, where she's praying at the gravestone, coming to get you, Barbara. That's where all this is. That was really interesting in actually finding this spot, because one of the main arteries of the graveyard is right there, and it would have been there when they shot this. So this is where it all was. If you follow me this way, this is where the fight happens, where Johnny bangs his head on the gravestone. So come on this way. So if you kind of watch, the ditch is a little bigger now. I think in the movie the ditch is only about like that big. Now it's bigger. But here's the gravestone where Johnny bangs his head on. And then this is the gravestone where Barbara is cowering and looking all scared while her brother's fighting the zombie, well, the whatever. They didn't call them zombies in the movie. Zombies came after. But yeah, that's where this spot was. So yeah. But that would be the one that he would have banged his head on, because that Myers is bigger, is too big. You could barely make out a Y-E-R-S on the film. That would have been this one. That Myers is way bigger. You could have easily seen it on film. So, but yeah, so they walked down here. Though all the production crew would have been down here. So, and this is pretty much the entrance of the gravesite. So if you go that way, that's where the building is. The building's been redone. It's now a nice brick building. But they would have been parked right about over here if you watch the film. And then that would have been the building that you see in front of the car. You keep on walking. What kind of impresses me with it is, we're talking about 1969. The car that they had probably did not have power steering, which means when she makes the turn, she had to make that turn with no power steering, and it's a sharp turn. But they would have been probably parked right about here. Is I think about where his car was parked, because that's about where the building would have been at. So then you go down the building, and as you can see, it's a steep angle, and it's a sharp turn. Now, where she hits a tree at is who knows where that tree is, because it would not been, I don't think it would have been on the entrance into the cemetery, because it was actually a little bit of a rise, but not much of a rise. But yeah, let's go see if we can go down here and see if we can possibly find where that rise would have been. So let's go see if we can go find it. What you got here is, here's where she, go ahead, show back here where the turn is. Turn the ship is. Look down this way, you can tell that it's a drop off all the way down. So this is probably not where she wrecked the car. They probably brought the car back and went up this way. Because if you watch the movie, it's more of a gradual slope where she ends up barely touching the car on a tree. It could have been down there, maybe, but I'm thinking it's more for safety and things like that, that they probably use this up here. Because if you also notice back there, that is way more of a drop, gradient down. And if you watch the film, the gradient's not that much up there. So that's where I think probably where she wrecked the car at. But that's the cemetery. We're going to see if we can find the house. I don't know if we're going to be able to find the house. I know it's on Ash Street or Ash Road, but that's all I know. So we're going to kind of drive around. We're just driving around anyway. We're going to see if we can locate this house. We know it's not down there because at the bottom of this hill is just woods. So it's not going to be down there. But let's go see where they started the shot on that one. All right, here we go. This is the Evans City Chapel. This is what you briefly see where the car was parked. You briefly see it and you watch it, you know, as she's driving by it. But this has always been a chapel. In 2011, they were actually going to tear it down. It was basically in dereliction. It was falling apart. They needed to get rid of it. But Gary Steiner decided that it was a landmark. It should be here. So he got in touch with a bunch of the Night of the Living Dead fans. They did. I don't think it was a Kickstarter. They just did a fundraiser. They raised $50,000 to basically build what you see here. But George Romero actually did the red tape cutting to open it back up. But yeah, they did a really nice job. If you actually come forward here, you can actually look inside and see all the nice woodwork and everything they did with it. But they did a really nice job with this. But all nice woodwork. They did a really pretty job of it. I believe the old one, if I remember right from the movie, was all like red paneling, like wood paneling on the outside. Now it's all brick. It should last for a very long time. But yeah, they did a really good job. So yeah, but Gary Steiner and the local Night of the Living Dead fans were all part of this, of getting this thing rebuilt and saved. All right, let's go see if we can find a house. Okay. While going through all this, it's kind of amazing to me how he shot all the scenes, because that's one scene where she's kneeling at the gravestone. That's the scene right there is where the fight happens. But there's a long span, well, not a long span, but there's a bit of a span between those two shots where they see the zombie walking towards them that makes it look like they walked way more than what they actually did. Because that's maybe 10 steps. And they took way more of that, because he basically came from here. If you look, you gotta remember the shot. He's kind of coming from down this way. But the way Romero shot it made it look like they had walked way far through the cemetery again. Especially because in the beginning of the movie, it looks like they walked through the cemetery a bit before they got to where they parked at. And it's not that far. Because where they parked at was right over there, the gravestone's right here. It made it look like they walked all the way through there to get back to here. So yeah, so just the way he shot the scenes and cut it and edited and all that kind of good stuff made it look a lot more like they walked a lot more in the graveyard than what they actually did. But on a side note, my wife is out here helping me with this. Cthulhu, which some of you guys know on the stream, that she plays Pokemon Go. Apparently, in Pokemon Go, actually she showed it to me, one of the landmarks in Pokemon Go on this cemetery is the Nicholas Kramer tombstone. Is one of the landmarks for Pokemon Go in here. So I find that kind of funny. And it's referenced in the film 1968, Night of the Living Dead. So, but, alright, let's go see if we can go find a house. Alright, catch you in a little bit, guys. Alright, now we're at the house. We actually did find it. Luckily, there's a site out there that actually shows the comparisons. Because the original house, they actually demolished after the shooting of Night of the Living Dead. And they rebuilt it, and the house you see behind me is the house that was rebuilt. But it's a nice little house. It's really nice and quaint. As you can see, they probably shot her running across from the road, or from, you know, looking at the road, from the road to the house is probably where they did the shot at. So, because that, as you can tell, that's the angle that you would have been catching her at. But this is probably about 5 miles from the graveyard. So it's not close to the graveyard at all. So she definitely did not run here. And she probably would have been running the wrong direction anyway, is the way it kind of looks on the film. But yeah, that's the house. But that should be it, everybody. But thank you all once again for coming on this lovely little trip of spots from the Night of the Living Dead. Hope you guys have a great day. But once again, if you guys are liking the video, please give the video a like. If you guys are enjoying the channel, please give the channel a sub. And I hope you guys have a great day. But be kind, be safe, and peace.